Well, welcome back to the boat project. It's been a little while since I did a video on this, but I've got the boat all stripped down and ready to get it sealed up and start painting it. But when I did a leak test on the boat, I found out that there's quite a few leaks on the side seams and a few leaks on the bottom where the keel's riveted on. So I've got to seal those leaks before I can do anything else. And I was originally going to paint the boat inside and out with a colored monster liner, which is a do-it-yourself bed liner product, but I found out that product is not waterproof. So unless I wanted to paint the whole boat black with bed liner, which I really didn't want to do, I had to go a different route. So what I decided to use was a product called Gluvit, which is a two-part epoxy sealer. And then once I've got the leaks sealed, then I'm going to paint it with Lumahawk paint. So let's get started. I'll show you where the leaks are, and we'll get the epoxy mixed up and start putting it on. So here where the side of the boat comes down and it meets the bottom, and you have this seam all the way up the boat, that seam is leaking all the way down. So I've got to get that sealed up. So we're going to get a good coat of epoxy sealer on that, and a good coat on the top of the rivets on those ribs, and I think we'll have it sealed up pretty good then. So let's get our sealer mixed up and see if we can stop these leaks. Alright, so we have put the Gluvit on all the rivets and on this seam right here, all the way down both sides. And then I came to the inside, and all of the rivets for the three ribs under the boat, put sealant on those. And then I also put up above that line, it looks like somebody had put treated wood there at one time, and it's corroded the aluminum just a little bit of pitting. So I went ahead and put the epoxy sealer across there, and we put it on this entire seam across the back here, and we'll put it down this way. Now in front of this seat, I wasn't able to put the sealant on the seam because whenever they put these rails in here for the raised floor, it's covering that up. But I can get to it back here, so I put that Gluvit on that, put it up the seam here on the side and all the way across the transom here, and it did a good job on it, I think. Also, where the handles bolt into the back, I put it there. I had tried using Map Pro and oxygen torch and doing some brazing on the ribs and on a couple of holes, but the torch just didn't quite get the aluminum hot enough. So I had a hole here and here from pitting. I used JB Weld marine putty and sealed those, and then there was a hole right here that I used the marine putty on, and then after the putty had dried, I put the Gluvit sealant over the top of that, which is overkill probably, but I had plenty of it, so I went ahead and did that. And that was all that I needed on the boat. I had pulled the wood part of the transom out, and it's in good shape, but the paint that's on it was coming off, so I started to use the rest of the Gluvit to coat that, and let me show you what it's looking like. Okay, so here's my wood for the transom, and I had a little bit of the Gluvit left, and it was getting close to the end of the pot life, so it didn't spread real well, but I basically just kind of poured it out and smeared it as good as I could to cover this. The wood in this is still solid, but I believe they made this out of some treated plywood, and I was concerned about the chemicals in the treated plywood reacting with the boat. So this is the face of the wood that actually touches the aluminum on the boat, and I'll have that epoxy break there between the two. Maybe that'll help slow down any reaction. And then once the epoxy's dry, of course, I'll paint both sides and the edges of it, and hopefully that'll seal it up and we won't have any chemical reaction corroding the boat out. But 48 hours the boat should be dry, and then we'll be able to do another leak test on it and see if this worked. And if it did, then we'll be ready to go ahead and start doing some painting on it.